Would I buy this seat post? Wait till the end to find out. That was convenient. Kind of dorky though. The new Transfer Neo seat post. Fox is announcing this thing today. And what is it? Well, it's basically what Adam Smith has invisibly handed us as a response to what Fox's largest competitor is currently making. Before we find out all the details about the Transfer Neo, I want to ask all of you, do you currently use a wireless seat post? Or do you prefer the old school method of a stainless steel cable directly connecting your thumb to your ass? Let me know in the comments which system you currently use, how you got it, and which system you prefer. Let's jump into it. When you think of dropper seat posts, you're likely thinking about the well-known aftermarket players. 1UP, P&W Components, KS, SDG, Bike Yoke, Crank Bros. If you're like me, you might even think back to Gravity Dropper or even the old Maverick Speedball. If you're ancient, you laugh and point past your cycling cap at the new old stock height right you've squirrel stashed next to a lifetime supply of toe clips and pump straps. All right, got my post up. Oh, there's a corner to make here. But among all these smaller players, you're likely not thinking about the towering titans of RockShox or Fox. But this all comes down to a fully different aspect of the industry, and it's a reason why many of you may indeed end up with a wireless seat post. While Fox and RockShox certainly do dabble in the aftermarket game, they are the big players of complete bike OEM spec. Their posts have prevalent OEM presence as they offer bike brands better pricing if they commit to a full suite of suspension and seat post spec. The majority of you will likely be interested in this new wireless seat post, not because you plan to install it on your existing bike, but because future you will be buying a complete new bike, and turns out it'll come with this seat post. Good thing, bad thing, or indifferent, it means you could end up inadvertently owning this product. Should you be scared, nervous, hesitant, anxious? Well, I'm not your therapist. As your attorney, I advise you to worry more about being able to take more days off work next summer than which seat post is on your new bike. Back in March, when Logan and I visited Fox's new product launch, we all learned about a big update to the Transfer post. I originally left thinking that the new Transfer would actually prove to be the most significant product from that week.
We brought the full team. We had our engineering manager, even our VP of engineering sitting in on weekly meetings. It was not lost on us that there were some people that didn't have great experiences with the previous Transfer where they'd lose gas charge, and so we're here to fix it. We brought our best crew, and we're really proud of what we've done. Then a missing shipment of seat posts meant I never got one to ride myself, and therefore couldn't warrant producing an entire video about a product I never even got to see, let alone ride. Eventually, I did purchase my own Transfer post at some discounted industry pricing and installed it on my old Ripmo V2S. It's been a great post. There is really only one issue with it. When I first grabbed my bike from the shed, the post hesitates to raise. But after that first raise, it's then absolutely solid. Minimal play, quick action, and a sleek, polished design. The aftermarket pricing certainly leaves something to be desired, as its $339 MSRP is much higher than the P&W Loam Post at $199 or the 1UP V3 at $269. This is why I don't consider Fox a big player in the aftermarket world, and let's all be honest, the best thing about the RockShox Reverb is that you know it's not pregnant due to its monthly bleed.
How's it bottom out?
But let's get past all that and into the more important details.
I want to give a big thanks to my supporters over at Jensen USA who sponsored this video and made it possible. Jensen's a leading online retailer for mountain bikes, parts, and accessories, including product from our friends over at Fox. I've got all the Transfer seat posts available at Jensen USA, linked to in the description down below. You can also read about all the details for the Transfer Neo and all the replacement parts from that link as well. Anything you purchase from that link will directly help support my channel. It's a big part of how we make these videos happen. Hi, sweetie. Yeah. Big thanks to Fox for hooking me up, I think, with this Transfer Neo. Big thanks to all of you for watching the videos. Thanks to Jensen for their support. Let's find out all the details.
The real story here is the new wireless protocol Fox developed to control the seat post.
Neo is what we're calling our wireless communication protocol. Neo is something that we developed in-house because there wasn't an existing wireless protocol that was as fast and as nimble as we needed it to be.
Fox refers to this technology as Neo. It began as Bluetooth, but just like a Mustang to a Supra, it needed to be a bit faster and more reliable. Fox utilized the same 2.4 gigahertz signal, but bored out all the unnecessary bits of traffic in order to make it as fast as absolutely possible.
Fox is claiming only 28 milliseconds of latency. Oh yeah, that is the sound of safety. I like to hear that. We should be wearing helmets, Reilly. Wow, that does not look safe. All right, we're at an altitude of 170 feet with the wind occasionally 169. Nice. Will it work? No, height of 158 feet. Will it work? No. Oh my God. Oh no, 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 no. Ah, shoot. Let's see if it'll work now. It worked! You can be that far away and your dropper will still work. I hope our internet still works. How are we gonna get that down?
Oh man. Well, we can use that ladder that you've had there for the last like 6 months. I couldn't even film that properly. Like it was just all of a sudden coming down. What happened?
I think it overheated.
Oh, working too hard, huh?
Yeah.
Poor drone.
I feel like this went from a really good idea to maybe an okay idea within the last 3 minutes. I call this my drone retrieval stick. That's why I keep it here. I caught it. Oh, I heard a crack though. Hopefully it's just a cosmetic crack. Does that matter? Well, on the trail, I never noticed any speed issues at all, except for one, and we'll get to that in a bit. The seat post is clearly built for maximum drop with options as deep as 200 millimeters. The post comes in 200, 175, 150, and 125 mil drop variants. While the standard transfer post has an easy way to adjust travel, there is no way to adjust travel on Transfer Neo. By locating the battery at the seat collar, rather than at the top of the post, there's more available tire clearance, allowing the post to really get low in the frame.
We didn't just kind of want to follow like the status quo in terms of like external design that we've seen from a lot of other kind of manufacturers where you see battery up top, and there's a couple reasons for that. We knew that we wanted to achieve better tire clearance. We also knew that we wanted to get a taller drop. So those two things that kind of forced us into like this design where we have the controller and the battery positioned directly above the seat tube collar. So in the scenario of running like a 200 mil drop post, you can basically slam it in your frame, and it's not going to kind of give you any tire clearance issues. Our stack height as a result of doing that can actually be a little bit lower because you're not really worried about tire clearance, whereas you might have a relatively tall stack height in some other manufacturers' posts, and you're beginning to be more and more concerned about battery clearance as you kind of get low.
If you like this video, scroll down, hit the subscribe button, and then ask your best friend to hit the subscribe button too. Thank you. If I were buying one of these posts, I would go with the 175 millimeter drop due to my size and preferred bike. Here's an example of me buzzing the back of my saddle installed on a 210 millimeter one-up dropper on my tire at bottom out. I'm 5 foot 8 inches tall, or 174 centimeters, so this clearance issue is going to affect almost half the world's population. I do like the extra drop of the 200 on jump trails, but on more natural terrain, a 170 is more than enough. The post uses the same Schrader valve adjustability as the standard transfer post, so it can be tuned for easier actuation or for a faster return than a recent college graduate. The remote is built to be as low profile and brake friendly as possible. I only used it with Shimano's brakes, but I can certainly say it's more comfortable and intuitive than RockShox's remote. I've never ridden a RockShox, what's it called, Reverb AXS before, but luckily Reilly is on this Commencal Meta that has such a seat post. So I've been playing around for the last minute, and it honestly works pretty good. Minor quibbles, the remote is harder to operate than the Fox one. The lever paddle is much further from the grip, so you gotta reach further to hit it. The contact point has to be like below the C and kind of by the H and lower. It's easy to just hit the top part and then not actuate. I'm just pushing on the top part, not actuating. You guys see that? It's wiggling. Wiggle it. You gotta get a little further down because it pivots downwards. I think Fox did a better job with how their pivots that way instead of, theirs pivots like a door swinging out. This pivots like a flap, like a toilet flap going down. So comparing this to the Fox remote, the Fox lever
It's more natural. It's the same direction that a regular dropper lever would move. So we're all used to it, and I think it honestly works slightly better. It's a minor detail, but minor details add up. Wire bikes cost more.
Yes, the wireless setup is less effort than a cable, but more noticeably, it's also a shorter lever throw. This allows for micro adjustments no problem. So yes, the actual usage of the electronic seat post is a little bit better.
All right, so I got a little bit of a technical climb up here. I'm gonna drop my seat just a little bit. There we go. Lightly tapping that remote. And when I do this with the drop seat a little bit, got a lower center of gravity, which helps me power through this stuff, not get hung up. It's easier to employ a little body English, body Spanish, body Latin, whatever it may be. Maneuver through.
Battery life is a claimed 30 hours. I believe it's a little bit less than that. The battery needs removed when the bike is being transported, or you need to connect your phone to the post with an app and put it in travel mode. For reference, I charged my post last week. I did a couple for fun rides, a couple rides filming, and a quick 3-hour road trip. Then, after riding mini motos for a while, I noticed the light on the post had gone red. Weird. During press camp, I first heard a rumor the red light meant something like 10% battery remained, but apparently that's not confirmed. I connected my phone and the battery was already at 5%. Sure enough, the Fox USB-C charger was at home, and Logan and I were in the backcountry.
I'm frustrated. I just charged that thing last week to ride it on the high tower. We did a bit of riding back in Bellingham. I think I rode it once or twice on my own. Rode once with Reilly, and we did a little shooting.
I rode it like twice.
I
think I rode it twice.
I'm frustrated though. Like, you shouldn't have to charge this weekly. It should be something you do monthly. I don't have the mental bandwidth to charge a seat post and attach the battery to the frame once a week. That's too much for me. I'm the kind of guy that could do that once a month, and I'd still probably forget once a month.
If we had a USB port on the post, we could just plug the post into the USB-C on the top tube of my e-bike, or to the battery bank in the van. And with the same cable that charges my Sony camera batteries, the Garmin InReach, my headlamp, we could charge the seat post no problem. But no, Fox had to go beat RockShox on weight, and neither company offers this functionality.
If only there was a better way.
This also meant Logan had to raise and lower the post manually in the bike for a 30-mile ride. So that speed of the remote is only as good as the charge of the battery. And if the battery is poorly or not charged, well, speed would be about the time it takes to dig your multi-tool out of your pocket while your peasant buddy with a mechanical seat post throws pine cones at you. The remote uses a CR2032 coin-style battery, same as most other remotes out there, and as long as your post is charged, you can override the remote and press the Bluetooth pairing button to actuate the dropper. This is also potential for funny pranks when your buddy's not paying attention. I rode the Transfer Neo among 3 different bikes, a Pivot Firebird, a Santa Cruz Hightower, and a Pivot Shuttle SL. My 3 complaints are that the battery life should probably be better, that the battery can't be charged while on the bike, and the price is absolutely insane. Now, all 3 mounting options come with the post. 22.2 band clamp is standard, a matchmaker for the SRAMs, and I, as a Shimano user, use the iSpec. Let's wrap this up. Once we factor in the cost of a good remote, a cable-actuated post is about a third to a half the price of either the Fox or RockShox wireless options. Is the wireless twice as good or more? Well, it certainly is easier to install, to move from bike to bike, and it does need much less lever throw. For someone with mobility issues, the ease of use of the Fox post is excellent. Once we factor in sales tax, I don't think I would spend over $900 for those benefits. I'm also the guy that gets sick of doing the monthly charge of rear derailleur batteries and who would rather jam his chain around with a metal string than have to charge it all in the first place.
All right, seat post up for effect and back down. Ew.
But most of you will probably end up with this post, not when you're buying it on the aftermarket, but when you get a deal on a bike that already comes with it. And that's certainly not a bad deal.
Would I buy the Transfer Neo seat post? What I would probably do is get a good deal on a bike in a couple years when it's already a generation or 2 old. And at that price point, I could afford a nicer bike and it might come with the seat post spec'd on it. In that case, I would definitely get a seat post like this. Would I upgrade my current mechanical seat post to the Transfer Neo just because it's wireless? For me, no, but I can't answer this question for all of you. If you want to learn more about the Transfer Neo, scroll on down to that link I have in the description below. It takes you over to Jensen USA. Anything you purchase from Jensen, whether it's a Transfer Neo post, an Endura kit, some kind of a new mountain bike, anything like that will help support my channel, and it lets everyone at those companies know that you enjoy these videos. All right, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the comments. Peace and wheelies.